All right, please welcome Dayton to the media room. Tonight we have Coach Anthony Grant, Nate Santos, and Enoch Cheek. So, Coach, 3 days, 3 games in Maui. How do you feel about your team leaving here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so proud of our guys. 3 really challenging games. Like we talked about before the tournament started, we knew this was one of the most challenging fields, a great tournament. We're always, fortunate to be able to be invited to this, so we're grateful. And, our guys really battled. I think we really grew up, here in the tournament. We had 3 very challenging games, games that we had opportunities to win on every single night, and we had to do some things better tonight. We understood that against a UConn team that's just extremely talented and well coached, and we knew that we would have to play really well, especially on the defensive end. And just proud of our guys, the resiliency, the toughness, the togetherness, the heart that we showed throughout the whole tournament. But this didn't feel like a 7th place game tonight, and our guys understood the opportunity, the things we've talked about all year in terms of our goals and what we're trying to do. They understood that, so I'm really proud and really grateful.
Thanks, Coach. Any questions for the players?
Nate, what does this mean to you guys after the 2 close calls the last 2 days?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. Obviously we had really, really close games, the 2 games prior. So, I think like Coach said, we really grew up. We really put a full game together, and I think, we realized what we're really capable of. So it was good to see that we finished the game off strong and we won.
And Enoch, what got into you guys in the last 5 minutes? What propelled you to that big run?
Just trying to put 2 halves together. I think the last 2 games we couldn't close out by putting 2 halves together, so we was just really locked in and really focused, trying to keep our composure. And we know if we did that, we was gonna have the game. So it meant a lot.
Anything else for the players?
Hey, Nate, and then Enoch, can you just talk about the resiliency a little bit? I know Coach mentioned that, but just talk about what the last couple days has been and what it's done in terms of building that resiliency and just keeping on fighting through everything.
Yeah, I think, every game that we've played, it's been a fight. So, I think we've just continued to grow and come together and get better and just build trust in each other and just continuing to fight and staying together. So I think, obviously, we saw what we could do in a full 40 by fighting to get together tonight, and so I think we really did a good job.
One more. The Flyer faithful were loud there, especially near the end. Enoch, you can start, and then Nate, if you want to follow. Just talk about what it means that Flyer fans traveled, all the way from Dayton, Ohio, and beyond to Maui, and we're here supporting and being loud.
It means the world. When we have our fans behind our back just cheering, it gives us energy. It helps us, it motivates us to do better. So we're just very grateful for them. They show out every game at home. So even when it's away, it just means the world.
Yeah, I'll just backpack off that. It means a lot. It gives us a boost of energy, especially, when it's close games and, we need energy. They're always there backing us up, good or bad. So it's great that they're here and we appreciate them.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys go back, hang with your team.
Good job.
Any questions for Coach?
Anthony talked about the need for improved defense. How much did you see that tonight?
Yeah, the guys said it. I think, we needed to be able to put 2 halves together, and I think their resiliency is what propelled them. Just the desire to do whatever it took. We knew it would be hard, and we talked about the need to do hard stuff, and you could hear on the bench in the second half them encouraging and pushing each other. This is 3 really, really challenging games in 3 straight days, and so I think every team will tell you that's really hard to do. It's really hard to do in 3 consecutive days. So our guys found that resiliency, that toughness, that grit to be able to do that, and understand what it was going to take. It was going to take a 40-minute game, and obviously the score doesn't indicate how challenging that was, at the end of the day, but I'm just proud of the group.
And throughout these 3 games, you got contributions from up and down the bench,
Yeah.
Jay and Simon and Isaac Jack, everybody.
Yeah.
Is that one of your biggest takeaways from this?
I mean, that's what it takes. I think we talk a lot. You heard me say this before, David, that the sum has to be greater than the individual parts. All right? And it's always going to be a team game. And on different nights, it's going to be different guys. You know, really proud of what Posh Alexander was able to do today. You know, he was a big reason why we were able to win the way we were able to win today. And you know, it's just up and down the line, different guys. And as you mentioned, it's been different guys. So this experience of being here and playing in this tournament and the competition that we got a chance to play against, I think will help propel us as we move forward. You know, this is, you know, college basketball is a lot of really good teams, and I think every team, every coach, I think, said it before the tournament started, that we would find out more about our group here, right? What we need to do better, what we're doing well, and then you try to build off of that, right? And so that's kind of where it is. I think, you know, we had two heartbreaking losses, you know, in games that we felt like we had opportunities to win, you know, and then to be able to show the level of resiliency and toughness to come out today and battle the way we did, I think that shows a lot of character for our group. All right, so now we'll take the lessons from this, and then we got to keep going, right? So it kind of is what it is, you know, and so I'm just really proud, you know, because that was a hard thing to do today, and I'm proud that our guys are willing to do hard stuff.
On Sunday, I asked you about Enoch. I mean, you have a complete roster, but there's something about him that he brings to the table. What is it that he brings to this team that just adds a different element?
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy that does all he makes winning plays. That's probably the best way I could put it. He's just a winning player on both sides of the ball. You know, he impacts the game not just by scoring, not by what, you know, you see at the end of a box score, but his footprint. You know, he's just an intangible guy, great defender, a guy that understands how to impact winning. You know, I think he's an underrated guy on both sides of the ball. You know, and it's great that, you know, the stat sheet kind of indicates what he's capable of. But I think he's one of those guys that you need to be able to win at any level.
I look at the stat sheet. You shot 50, 47, 90. I mean, when we talk about great players, but as a team, it looks like, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Where does that? I mean, when you think about performances, that you coached a number of games.
Yeah.
Where does this performance?
It's big time. I mean, I feel like offensively, we play really well. You know, I think our guys are understanding the pace we want to play at, how to play together, right, and to support each other, to help each other have success. What I love seeing is on the defensive end, right? That's what, specifically in the second half, was probably cost us the first two games here, right? And so I'm proud of what we were doing on the offensive end, but I'm probably more proud from a defensive standpoint that we're able to put two halves together.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the mental toughness of this team and some of the individuals, especially some of the veterans like a Nate Santos or a Malachi? How did they show their mental toughness over the last couple of days and being able to rebound, and what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, Ryan, I really, for me, my mind is all wrapped up in our team. You know, to me, it's always going to be about what the team does, and like I always say, the sum is going to be always greater than the individual parts. I believe we have really talented guys. I think we have really good players. I think we have high character guys that want to win, that understand how winning helps everybody, right? And so I think just as you build that, we're 7 games in, I believe, to a long season, right? There's ebbs and flows. There's always ups and downs of every season, and you try to grow and get better. You learn from wins. You learn from losses. So at this stage, like I said, my focus is just on today, because this was a hard thing to do, right? Three games in 3 days against some of the best competition in the country, right? And our guys put themselves in position on each night to have a chance. And we felt like we didn't finish, right? Felt like we didn't finish like we should have been in position to finish some of those games. And so we knew tonight that it was going to take us doing hard stuff to be able to win, right? And I feel like we grew up in terms of understanding what that feels like and how to go about doing that. Now we got to be able to do it again. Now we got to be able to repeat that, right? And so it's all growth. There's no finality. I'll celebrate individuals and all the other stuff when we're done. We're not done. We're 7 games into this thing. We got a long way to go.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Safe travels. All right, Coach, thanks for being here.
Yes.
Let's open up to questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dan, I mean, obviously, like you've mentioned before, the defense just has not been there. What do you guys have? How do you get better? I mean, is there better intensity? Just being smarter, knowing where to be on the floor. Like,
I mean, it's so many things. You know, it's so many things. It's you know, I can't remember the last time we got out rebounded by 16. I mean, that's what we do to people. But just, you know, there's discipline mistakes, which is bad coaching. You know, the just the just not being in the right spots. There's the obviously the free throw discrepancy thing that's gone on the whole time we're here, which was a byproduct of a lack of discipline and other factors. And you know, it's scary that, you know, a 5-point game with 5 minutes to go turned into turned into that. And then, when you come to a tournament like this and it's three games in 3 days, and it starts to go bad, there's no way of fixing it because there's no time to. You just have to deal with the situation. And it was a humbling trip, obviously, for the program that's accomplished what we've accomplished.
And is just figuring out the rotations continue to still be a challenge? I mean, it's tough to do out here because of what you said.
I mean, it's tough to do, and it's we just looked so young compared to them. I mean, minus Alex and Samson and Hassan. Obviously, we have a lot of younger players. The older guys that we brought in, obviously, we're not going to be very successful if we can't get more out of them. So I just think we need to get back, and we need to regroup, both from a psyche standpoint, and then come up with a different plan defensively for the most part.
Dan, with Maryland Eastern Shore and Baylor next week, so in the short term, what do you think is the most fixable?
I don't know. We're a pretty efficient offensive team. We missed a lot of open shots. I mean, Liam had some great looks and some things at the rim. I think offensively we'll be fine. Defensively, though, man, it's been a disaster, here for us. And then, the amount of times we just have been driven. And then I don't even know overall what the whole free throw thing was like for the 3-game stretch out here, how much we were outscored at the free throw line. I mean, we were minus 20 today.
Dan, where do you start to regroup from a psyche standpoint? Obviously, a long flight coming up now, and a quick turnaround again Saturday.
Yeah, listen, this is not this UConn team that's lost 3 in a row out here is not the UConn team that we've been. It's the UConn team, that we are right now that I think is going to get a lot better. We're relying on a lot of young players. The burden of wearing the uniform after back-to-backs right now looks like it's weighing heavy on the group, and I think right now we just got to try to focus on becoming a good team and becoming a tougher team. And to allow a 5-point game, obviously there was a flagrant one there, and that was a game that we were missing lobs and transition and blowing opportunities, and it's right now we're a shell of what we've been.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.